My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Oh man, no, Carlos Correa is going back to the Twins. As a Guardians fan, this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened, because if you guys don't remember, I'm going to show Carlos Correa's stats from 2022. He hit 387 with a 229 OPS plus and 5 home runs in 62 at-bats versus the Guardians. Yeah, he basically stole my lunch and ate it in front of me every time he came up to the dish. Carlos Correa in one offseason got deals of 13 years, $350 million. That was from the Giants. Then he got 12 years, $315 million from the Mets. And then finally, 6 years, $200 million from the Twins. We'll talk about him in just a second, because there's actually some other signings I do want to go over. Also, I never do this, but could you guys do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? I'm sad, and it might make me feel better. So in yesterday's recap, we talked a lot about the Marlins and their young pitching staff, and the fact that Miami is pretty okay with sending one of their young pitchers to another team. And this all but confirms that the Marlins have given Johnny Cueto almost $9 million for a one-year deal. Johnny Cueto, I thought that he was going to be out of baseball after what he did in 2021. He wasn't very good at all, and that was after 2019 and 2020, where he was terrible. But in 2022, everything came together. A 3.35 ERA. He had a 3.79 FIP. Again, if you're brand new to baseball or this channel, FIP is just how good a pitcher is at getting strikeouts, not allowing walks, and not allowing home runs. So how good is he at getting outs all by himself? So anytime you're below a 4 FIP, you're pretty decent. The Nationals have signed Corey Dickerson. This one is a little bit weird. He's only getting $2.25 million. The reason why I say this is weird is because they just gave Dominic Smith some money, and I thought that Dominic Smith was going to be their DH. Corey is coming off a season which he had 6 home runs and 281 at-bats. He had a 100 OPS plus. Like, he was about as average as you can possibly get, but ultimately he doesn't have a place to play because, yeah, Juan Yepes is a thing. They love Nolan Gorman and Lars Nootbaar. Again, guys, we're going to talk about the Twins and Carlos Correa in just a second, but real quick, the Blue Jays have added Brandon Belt on a one-year, $9.3 million deal. So if we take a look at 2022, Brandon Belt had a 92 OPS plus, but that's because he only played in 78 games. He was coming back from injury. The year before, Brandon Belt in 2021 had 29 home runs, 14 doubles. You're probably thinking, yeah, Fuzzy, because he did that over 140 to 150 games. No, Brandon Belt only played in 97 games in 2021. He had a 160 OPS plus and 29 home runs. And if we take a look at 2020 to 2021 and 148 combined games, Brandon Belt was a monster. 38 home runs, again, in only 148 games. He had a 165 OPS plus and a 393 on base percentage. I'm not saying that Brandon Belt is going to take Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s job, but Brandon Belt as a DH, that's not too bad. Now, this is a very small signing, so I'm going to talk about it super quick. Luke Jackson is going to the Giants. I know that the Giants lost out on Arson Judge and Carlos Correa, but we know that the Mets also lost out on Correa. We'll get to that after this, but Luke Jackson, I mean, he's pretty good. So in one offseason, the Giants have actually added quite a few players. Conforto, Mitch Haniger, Taylor Rogers, the twin brother of Trevor Rogers, or Tyler Rogers, whatever it is, I keep forgetting. No, Trevor Rogers is on the Marlins. Tyler is the twin brother of Taylor on the Giants, and now they pick up Luke Jackson. The Giants did not have a terrible offseason. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. They're not an A offseason, but B+, I'll give that to them. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the worst news that could have possibly happened. Carlos Correa, the Guardians killer, is going back to the Twins. $200 million is guaranteed, and we know that it can go up to $270 million if he actually performs and completes all of his incentives. I think there's one incentive that on the 6th year, he has to have 500 plus plate appearances. Then he's going to be able to get $25 million. And the one thing I do want to note, these two little words right here, the most important words in the history of baseball, apparently the last few weeks: pending physical. Yes, Carlos Correa, he is going to the Twins pending a physical, and we know that the Mets and the Giants both backed out and said, yeah, we're not giving you $300+ million because your leg looks like it's a wet noodle. But just in case you forgot how good Carlos Correa is, we've talked about him a lot lately. In 284 games, I mean, he stacks up very well with all of the other top shortstops that were free agents this year. He has the highest OPS plus. Again, I don't know if that would be higher or lower if you played the same amount of games as these other guys. But Correa, let's face it, Xander Bogaerts is widely considered to be one of the best offensive shortstops in baseball. baseball. He has a 301 batting average and a 130 OPS plus over the last 2 seasons. Correa is not too far behind at 285 batting average and a 135 OPS plus, which is higher. Obviously, he has a little bit more pop. So Correa, a platinum glover. He is one of the best offensive shortstops and infielders in the game. This makes me so sad. The reason why it makes me sad is because I really feel like the Twins have had a pretty decent offseason, and I'm not trying to be biased because I know they added Joey Gallo, my friend. Christian Vasquez is not the worst option as a backstop. Hopefully Byron Buxton is going to be able to play 100 and even 30 games. Last year, would he have 382 plate appearances? If he can get 500 plate appearances, honestly, Byron Buxton could be a guy that could hit 30 home runs and have 30 doubles as well with that speed. They have Jorge Polanco. That lineup is looking really good. Nick Gordon had a breakout season last year with a 427 slugging. That's good for him. And then if we take a look at the bench, you have Ryan Jeffers, who is not the worst offensive catcher, although he did hit 208. He was better in 2021. Kyle Farmer, I forgot that they added him. Their rotation, Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan. I really like Joe Ryan. He came over from the Rays. Tyler Mahle, very underrated. Kenta Maeda is back and he should be healthy. And Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober was pretty impressive last year. He had a 3.21 ERA and 51 strikeouts in about 56 innings. So the Twins right now are definitely going to be an annoying team going into 2022 if they stay healthy. And in my opinion, the Guardians right now are still a better team on paper because that rotation, that bullpen, the addition of Josh Bell, you have up and coming top prospects going to be playing a lot. I really feel like the Guardians have the edge, but the Twins, if they can stay healthy, I got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're really good on paper, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, all you Giants fans who got made fun of after you lost out on Arson Judge and Carlos Correa, hopefully this makes you feel a little bit better. You've had a pretty good offseason. Mets fans, I'm not sorry because you've almost spent $500 million when you don't even factor in Carlos Correa, so you'll be okay.
Anything else bothering you?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've got a weird rash in my knee pit area. And my tongue on this side doesn't taste anything anymore. Sometimes when I walk, my ankles make like a weird rattlesnake sound. What else? Things that are far away from my eyes are fuzzy. I once ate a Twix with the wrapper on it, and I've never seen the wrapper come out. Also, I've swallowed every piece of gum that I've chewed for the past 25 years. I don't know. And broke my thumb on the way over here. Just...
Frank, Carlos Correa and the Minnesota Twins are in agreement on a 6-year, $200 million contract.
We're stuck with Darren Ruff. Darren Ruff, you know Darren Ruff says he's going to do the fire hose every time he gets an error. This is the season is destroyed. Destroyed! The Mets are going to lose 95 games